the miscongeniality that I would have crowned would have been.
Hi everyone, welcome to Kudos for Spilling. I'm Tanya Tsunami, your host, and today is a very special day. Not only is it my birthday, but I have a very special guest, Peppermint, on the show. Hi Peppermint, how are you?
Hello. It's so good to see you again. I'm great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
so
put on
good.
some lip gloss for your birthday.
Oh, you got all done up for me. You were talking about songs that you wrote in 2025, or that I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the
You were talking about songs
2020
you wrote during the pandemic,
2020.
right?
Yeah. So the music that I did before Drag Race was mostly like, which I guess you call drag music. And then during the pandemic, I had the chance to really think about what I wanted to say that might be deeper. And, and so that's what I did. And I came out with, I ended up with, because the pandemic was so emotional and there was a lot of conversations that we were having and a lot of opportunities to like sit and think,
Right.
and have your heart broken and all over again. And so I decided to do a love project that was like a love letter to exes of the past, to lovers in the future, and then to myself. And so that was 3 parts, and the first 2 are out, but the third one has yet to come out. And so that's what'll come out in 2025.
Well, I look forward to that, because that last piece is the most important part.
It is. It's the one.
It's the one that you need for the other two.
Yeah, for the healing.
Absolutely. That sounds amazing. So, I mean, who doesn't love a bitch track, right? I mean, you talked about that. But I do love anything with soul. Anything you could
and
feel.
It's R&B.
Yes.
The genre of this as well is R&B, which I love.
Which is my favorite. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So do you touring? Like with your music?
I toured prematurely. I guess I didn't realize we were still in the pandemic, and I wasn't quite sure. Naturally, the way I thought about things going into the pandemic was different than how they ended up being, and then afterwards. And so I initially thought that I was going to focus solely on music and that I would tour every year, but that just became really tough to do.
Of course.
After the first time, I was like, okay, we're going to condense this. So I condensed the tour. I toured in partnership with Jujubee. Yeah, 2022, we went on a tour of the music. I did my music, she did hers. And then that was it for the tour. So I think for the most part, at this point, I'm going to try to do some live performances of some of the new songs that will come out. But it'll just have to be like some music videos and like releases online for now. And then, hey, if the opportunity falls in my lap that I can do a tour, then I will.
Well, you should at least do, some gigs in New York.
Oh yeah, I'll do some gigs. I'll do a concert or 2.
Yeah, for sure. Because New York City cannot get enough of you. And I gotta say, on your season, well, there was a lot of New York girls, but you made
the
it
most there had ever been up until that time.
Yes, and you guys made us so proud, so proud. And if I could crown Miss Congeniality, it would win you. Seriously,
I would have taken it because it was. I mean, listen, I got to tell you, at the time, and I had talked about this before, but at the time, the miscongeniality that I would have crowned would have been Trinity. Believe it or not.
No, I believe it. She's helpful.
She is so helpful, especially in her last season of Drag Race, and I think in the past couple of years, people have seen it. She's just unbelievably helpful, and she is a veteran queen and has been around for a long time, and really has experience with different things, and she and a pageant queen, so she knew
Yes.
hair, she knew sewing, she knew all the different things. And even though I'd been doing drag for a while, I didn't really know any of those things. And so she was super helpful to me and to all the other girls. But obviously Valentina ended up getting that. And it did seem odd in the moment, just given how it's mostly how the fans were reacting.
Of
But I do
course.
think that what's been great is that Valentina's had the opportunity since then to really grow into that, you know? And I know Valentina personally, like right after, like during the show, and right, like Valentina was my sort of like recreation partner. They keep you sequestered, so you can't like roam
Of
around
course.
the street on your own. But they do take you like to the store, or you go to the pool, and you do that in small little groups. And so she was the person that was always partnered with me, and we would talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about everything. And so I knew that Valentina was a beautiful soul. But I do think that it was the sort of the vibe that people can take from her. What at the time they were, they didn't get a chance to see that all those additional moments with her.
Of
And
course.
so it was really interesting that she got it then, but now it's like perfect person to have gotten it. And if Valentina didn't take it, and if Trinity didn't take it, I would have been happy with it.
Yeah. So that's no shade to any of the other girls, but that's to give you your flowers. I would have given it to you. And you bared so much of yourself on that show, and you continue to. You know, those of us that saw what played out on Traitors, even though that's something I would never typically watch, I saw the parts that it allows you, which unfortunately was not that many, because they didn't give you an opportunity to be on the show that long. And it's just it's so see-through how that was just completely transphobic. It was disgusting to see on television, but I'm glad that you got to bring that to their attention.
Thank you. I got a chance to speak my piece afterwards, and I'm content with it. Of course, I would have wanted to stay on there longer. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the show. I have been. And I think I was a bigger fan of the show than most of the people that were actually there. Not that you have to be a fan of the show in order to do it. I mean, that's not necessary at all. But I was a big fan of the show. And so like there were people there that were like, now what are we doing? And I was like, okay, let me tell you how it goes, Phaedra. And so like I felt really good about being able to do that and having my connection to the show. And then I was heartbroken. And I watched that all go down around me, and there was nothing I could do to save myself. And so nobody likes being in a helpless situation in a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Say less.
Exactly. But I will say, if they ever asked me to go back again, I would totally do it. You
know what? You taught a lot of lessons there. And whether people were receptive or not to that's not your job, right? You're trying to exist in the world, and you're also doing so much. The Black Queer town hall that you do with Bob. That's something amazing. That's something that's unprecedented to come from people with influence who are actually in the community. So when you guys talk, people should listen because you know what you're saying. You're living in it.
I think, I'm really happy and proud of the podcast that I have with Bob. I think it's fantastic. And Bob is a great podcast partner. And, what's great about it is we get a chance to talk about things that we don't necessarily get a chance to talk about in any other situation on other podcasts. And, you know, every podcast, everything that you do is different. If you have a partner, you know, co-host. And so this one's really unique. And Bob and I, you know, I think a lot of people are used to seeing me and Bob together, but I think they're usually used to seeing us just like just cracking up, which I love to do. But it is great to be able to have sort of that, I don't want to say the serious side, but the side that really pays attention to like the work that we want to make sure it gets done. And so the Black Queer Town Hall podcast, Black Queer Town Hall, the event, and Town Hall, the Black Queer podcast, which goes along with Black Queer Town Hall, are opportunities to do that. And so we do charity events through Black Queer Town Hall, and through Town Hall, the Black Queer podcast, we talk about all the issues, you know.
And what is the website for that in case people want to donate?
Yeah, thank you. It's blackqueertownhall.com. .org, excuse me. I'm so used to saying .com whenever there's a damn.
We'll put it in the description as well, because that's very important. And especially in these times. And thank you for your relentless work on the campaign. Although it didn't pan out as it was horrible. It didn't pan out. That stop.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else to say about it.
It didn't pan out.
But you know, one thing it did do is it gave people an opportunity to become maybe a little bit more active and politically active and engaged, and having certain conversations that we need to have. And you know, there were some missed opportunities, I think. And you know, I think there's going to be some serious work that has to be done.
Yeah.
After in these next 4 years, during these next 4 years, hopefully after these next 4 years. But if what we get to do is elect another president in 4 years, then having to undo all the damage that happened over the next 4 years is a small price to pay. I don't mean to be trite, because I know that there's going to be some tough situations where people could have some real hardship. And so I don't want to, you know, make light of that. But I'm saying there is this looming feeling that like he could stay in office if he wants to, you know.
At this point, they're trying to like make him a king. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if he gets out of there, then I'm good. You know what I mean?
Fine.
Right.
Take him, get him out of there, and we'll fix whatever he broke.
Yeah. And that would be like unscathed pretty much.
Exactly.
Compared to what people are talking about.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
That's so heavy. I'm sorry.
No, it's the reality, and that's what I was really focused on during the campaign and during all the other things. Like, you know, that's part of my work and
of course
what I'm really energized by.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
We met like officially at the GLAAD Gala. I used to work for the Human Rights Campaign. Like you know, the work is never done, and some of us have been out there for a long time doing the work. So that's why it's like crazy to see.
We're not new to this. We're true to this.
Right. Yeah, grassroots, like boots to the ground, and we got a lot of stuff done, but you know, we have a lot of work to do.
Roll up our sleeves.
Yeah. On a lighter note, what's on Peppermint's playlist these days?
I love Victoria Monet. I'm getting into her. Love her. And you know, I've been going back and listening to a lot of movie soundtracks.
Okay.
You know, and so of weirdest thing, listened to the Gremlins soundtrack recently, and it's so stupid, but it's fun.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
If you've seen the movie, then you basically heard the soundtrack. I mean, it's like those 80s and 90s soundtracks, like literally have the either the theme song, like 10 different versions of the theme song over and over again. But like other songs as well. So I am what else have I listened to? The Clue soundtrack. I got some nerdy movie choices, and I'm just listening to my favorite movie soundtracks and really getting into that. But like I said, I love Victoria Monet, and I've been listening to a lot of Prince lately because last year they released a sort of anniversary box set version of one of his albums, the Diamonds and Pearls album, and I got it and listen to it, and I love it.
Of course. I mean, he is timeless. But yeah, that Vic Monet, I'm telling you, that Victoria Monet, Kehlani, SZA, love them all.
Yeah, her, love it.
Her, oh my gosh, yeah. You're speaking my language. Yeah, I mean, but I would love to book you at the Red Eye. We talked about that.
Yeah, we got it. I love Red Eye. Love Daniel. Love the whole crew there. Love Adam. They're just so great. And yeah, I'd love to do so. We'll have to maybe for the new year.
Yeah,
sure. We don't know what's going to be happening.
Right. Yeah. Right. But we're in New York, so we might.
Yeah, we are sheltered.
For the time being.
Grateful for that.
Yes.
All those years of overpaying rent. Now it's paying off.
Continuing to overpay rent.
Yeah.
Well, Peppermint, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm so grateful that you came on the podcast. Like I told you, I'm a longtime admirer, even before you got on Drag Race. You were the talk of the town before Drag Race. You were always a hardworking woman and still are. And I just say that to give you your flowers and acknowledge the important work you're doing, and also doing drag, not taking yourself so seriously. That's the beauty of it, the dichotomy, and why people gravitate towards you, and why you remained relevant and in the spotlight for nearly a decade.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I've enjoyed this so much, so thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, and we will be in touch after the New Year. Let's book something.
Yes, girl. I'll see you at the club.
In the club, girl. All right, I want to thank you again, and I will link all your socials as if people don't have it anyway. But if you're watching this, you like drag, so.
That's the truth.
Yes, facts. All right, Mama, thank you again. All right, much love. Mwah. Kudos for spilling.